Hello, welcome to uh, video number 1 of this month's uh, topic, which is gaining clarity on femininity. And the topic of this video in particular is exactly what is femininity. So I will be going into this video and I will be defining what femininity is. My name is Angela. If you are not familiar with me, I am the Wifed Up Coach. And I am a author, a blogger, and a femininity coach. Now, what is a femininity coach, you may be asking? So I basically teach women how to embrace their authentic feminine nature, if you are not familiar with who I am. So, and I teach women how that femininity is their superpower with men, particularly, but not especially. Um, Being a feminine woman is a superpower in every area of your life, but it's definitely a superpower with men. Okay, so um, make sure that you have downloaded the workbook. It is a companion to all of these videos, not just this one, but all of the videos. And it is, you can print it out if you are one of those people who like to print things out and write on it. I'm that type of person. Or also, you are able to write on it by just downloading it as well. So easy, or you don't have to print it out. You can just type your answers right in the spots, or you can download it if you need that, extra. You need your pencil to paper type girl, like myself. Okay, and also there is a printable that is included with each and every video, so make sure to check those out. It's just a little extra thing to help you, you know, with your femininity and to really tune into the ideas that are put forth in each video. Okay, so let's get into today's topic. So today's topic is, what is femininity? What is it? What does it mean to be feminine? Right? Okay, so basically you all know, I'm sure you may have a vague idea about it. Maybe you've read my blog or my book, or maybe you've looked it up somewhere else. Normally, if you look it up online or in the dictionary, it'll say, like, the most basic definition you'll get. It's the quality of being a woman, or, uh, you know, um, the characteristics of a female, or something like that. Um, but however, that really misses the mark in defining femininity in so many ways, right? Because one, what is the quality of being female? Like, what does that mean? What is the quality of being a woman mean? Like, we're just so multifaceted human beings that what is that one quality that makes us a feminine, or those qualities that makes us feminine? Like, what are they? And that is where you don't really get that definition. So my goal here today is to really define femininity for you, so that you will leave this video and you will have a whole new understanding of what femininity is, right? Okay, so here's the thing. I know in today's time, it's all about, I'm an independent woman and I can take care of myself and I don't need a man. And that type of thing is really why I say that you can't just say it's the characteristics of being a female, because a lot of females have taken away what makes them a female and have taken on that masculine energy. So before I go any further, let me stop and really define for you what exactly is feminine energy, femininity, and what it means to be feminine, right? Okay, so as you know, if you are familiar with me, through my book, blog, all those things, um, that being that femininity and masculinity are opposite sides of the same coin. They are opposite energies, but they come together to make one whole, yin and yang, right? Masculinity is primarily for men. Femininity is primarily for women, right? So, is naturally for women and is naturally for men. Now, because of nurturing, not nature, but nurturing, lots of men have become feminine in today's time because of emasculation and, feminist movement, the modern feminist movement. and things like that, maybe not being raised by a father in their home, being raised by domineering mothers. It has caused a lot of men to be feminine, emasculation from their women. And then uh, on the other side, there's the masculine women. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of women are, as a woman, our nature is to be feminine, but we have taken on a lot of masculinity as women in today's modern age because of the same reasons that men have. Because of the modern feminist age, we're saying you don't need a man. You can be independent and get your education and do you, and you don't need a man. So a lot of women have taken on very masculine energy saying, I can do bad all by myself or I can do good all by myself. I don't need a man either way. Then a lot of women are trying to compete with men in the workplace for jobs and things like that. Working in certain type of male-dominated industries also gets you into that competitive, aggressive energy. You know what I'm saying? Having to raise children by yourself makes you both a mother and a father and makes you automatically masculine. Being single, chronically single, makes you automatically masculine because you are used to being your own man. So let me tell you why that's a problem. Now, it screws up the dynamics of relationships because it's stripping women of their femininity and stripping men of their masculinity, and the roles are reversed. But it's causing strain because men naturally want to be the masculine protection and provider of a situation, and women want to be adored and cherished and those type of things. But when the roles reverse, we find that each energy feels slighted and they feel resentful towards the other energy because they're not in their natural, authentic state, right? So, femininity and masculinity connect to each other. They are polar opposites. They are in effect always. So if you are a feminine woman, you're always going to attract a masculine man to you. For I won't say always, but 9 times out of 10, the men that you attract to are going to be masculine because your energy, you are an invisible energy field, and so the people that are coming to you are going to be complements and polar opposites of you, right? So you have like this invisible antenna that you're putting out into the universe, and you're telling people that, hey, this is the type of people that I want to come in my life. And those type of people who are open to it hear your signal, your antenna signal going off, and they come to you. So this is all invisible stuff that's happening, like, in the spirit world and stuff like that. So, but it's the law of polarity, which is a law, which laws mean that they're always in effect, like the law of gravity. If you throw something up in the air and you're on planet Earth, then it's always going to come down. You know what I'm saying? If you jump up, you're always going to come down because you're on Earth, and Earth is governed by the law of gravity. So also the law of polarity means there's always a polar opposite to something. So the polar opposite of femininity is masculinity. The polar opposite of masculinity is femininity. So in order for a relationship to thrive and grow, there needs to be a masculine energy and a feminine energy. Now, as I stated, women should be feminine and men should be masculine. Now, I'm not saying it could not work the other way around where women are masculine and men are feminine. It can most definitely work because the only thing that matters is that the energies are complements and polar opposites of each other, right? So that dynamic could work. But what I know is most women don't really want to be the man of the relationship, right? And most men really don't want to be the woman of the relationship. So even though that dynamic can work, over time, I feel like both parties will wake up and realize this isn't who I truly am. You know what I'm saying? And then they will grow resentful of their partner. Either one or both of you guys will. So that type of situation happens. So, um, what is femininity? So I just wanted to give you that foundation. So let me tell you exactly what is femininity. Okay, so femininity is an essence, it's an energy, right? It's your natural state of being as a woman, as a female. It is who you are authentically. It's not about tactics, it's not about strategies, it's not about, you know, thinking a couple things to, you know, um, get 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 your way in a situation. Now, I say that femininity is a superpower, and it is because it would elevate you in places that you would not believe with men. and, in life in general. But it's not about using it to get per se. It's about being a woman who embraces her true authentic nature. Now, what do I mean by embrace her true authentic nature? Right? Okay, so what it means to be feminine is that you are in tune with your feelings. Femininity is about emotions and expression. So this means that you are in tune with your feelings as a woman, right? You are um you embrace your feelings. You don't try and hide them. You don't stuff them under the table. You also don't overreact. You don't explode in situations. You own your feelings and you validate your feelings. And then you react and speak from those feelings in a calm, controlled way. It's also about being caring. It's also about, which not to be confused with, um, because you can be caring. Well, let me just tell you the qualities of it. Okay, so you know what I'm saying. So, okay, let me backtrack a little bit before I do too much. Okay, so when it comes to this feminine thing and being in tune with your emotions, it's really all about being in tune with your emotions and being vulnerable. Now, I will go into vulnerability a little bit later in this membership. I believe it's another month. So I won't really talk about vulnerability today, but I'm just going to mention it. So, vulnerability is the key to being feminine because you have to be open to masculinity, because women, as a feminine woman, femininity is about receiving, right? Men give, you receive. So, and you cannot receive if you're not vulnerable, if you're not open. So, in order to be a truly feminine woman, you have to be vulnerable, and not just vulnerable with men, but just vulnerable in general. But there is a way to be vulnerable, because I know a lot of times the contest I get is, okay, well, if I'm vulnerable, I might get hurt. I might get hurt. And honestly, vulnerability isn't about being blind or stupid or just allowing yourself to be open to any and everybody. You have to use discernment. You have to use um, knowledge. You know what I'm saying? You have to have boundaries and standards so that your vulnerability isn't just open for anybody. You're not just wide open. You're strategically vulnerable, right? That's what I mean. But I will go into more about vulnerability when we get into that topic. But I just want to mention vulnerability really quickly because that is really the core essence of being a feminine woman. Now, also, when I said about being in your feelings, now I don't mean being in your feelings in the dramatic way of being in your feelings, but I mean, um, okay, say for example, you are having a bad day, right? Say for example that, your man did not call you. He hasn't called you for 2 days, and you're feeling very like emotional. Your emotions are all over the place. You're feeling a little bit of anger. You're feeling disappointment. You're feeling a little bit of fear. You're feeling rejection, disappointment. You're feeling all of these emotions. Now, what a woman, now I would say normal, but what a woman who is probably in her masculine energy would do is she would not take the time to process her emotions. She would feel overwhelmed by them and she would just lash out, which is kind of that's what masculinity does. It's kind of what men do. When they are too overwhelmed with emotions because they aren't emotional creatures, they just kind of like explode or withdraw or something like that. So that's what a masculine woman would do. She would explode, or maybe explode on him, call him, curse him out. How dare you do this to me? How dare you not call me in 2 days? Who do you think you are? That type of thing. Or she would stuff it all the way down and just pretend like everything is okay and never say anything. And possibly be a doormat. Now, we talk about doormat later on in this membership as well. But being a doormat is not feminine. Letting a man walk over you, letting anyone walk over you, you not speaking up is not feminine. That is weak. That is not what being feminine is about. That is what being weak is about. So, So either one of those actions, either you're exploding on him or you're just stuffing it down, trying to pretend like nothing is happening. But then at some point you end up doing the first one, which is exploding. You only can hold your emotions in for so long until you explode, right? So that's none of those things are how feminine women handle situations. Now, in this situation where you're upset that a man hasn't called, you have every right to feel your emotions. So that's exactly what you do as a woman. You feel them, you embrace them, and you give them a name, you give them a label. Right now, I am feeling upset, angry, sad, rejected, hurt, disappointed because I don't understand why he hasn't called me. So then once you've identified those emotions and you've identified what is going on with you and you identify why you feel that way, the next step is to thank yourself for feeling those things because emotions are just emotions. There's no right or wrong to emotions. You know what I'm saying? So, and they pass. You know what I'm saying? You feel one way today and then another day you feel a different way. Emotions are very fleeting things. So just own them whenever they come into your life. That is what being feminine is about. Give them a label and sit with it. Don't explode. Don't get angry. Don't get overly emotional. Don't take it out on anyone else. Just sit with those emotions. And once you sit with those emotions, then you say, well, what do I want to do about this? So, well, I feel like I should tell him that I don't feel comfortable with, going this long without me. Now, be very careful because this depends on what stage of relationship you are in with him. If you're just dating and he hasn't reached out to you, then you kind of got to chop it up to the game. But if you're in an exclusive relationship or you're married to this man and you have more of a understanding between you two, then you can, talk to him about it. So just make sure that your expectations or what you want to happen is in alignment with where you are in a relationship when it comes to men and your emotions. So say that this is your fiance or something and you guys don't live together and you haven't heard from him in 2 days. Um, so at that point, you already identify your emotions. You can say, next time he contacts you, because you want to wait till he contacts you. So you say, hey, you know what? It feels so great to hear from you. You know what I'm saying? Because it does. You're excited that he finally contacted you. However, it makes me really uneasy when we go days without speaking to each other. I feel like at this stage, I would really feel happier if I got to talk to you every day. What do you think? Or, yeah, what do you think? Or is there something going on with you that I need to know? So you just express how you feel about the situation and then you put the ball in his court. And that's what being a feminine woman is. You're not trying to control the situation. You're not telling him you better do this, you better do that, you better do the third. You're not telling him that. You telling, hey, this is how I feel about the situation. This is how the situation is affecting me. It's all about you. It's not about him. You're not making this about him. You're not saying you need to do that. No, it's about me and how I feel, right? So this is how I feel about me not hearing from you. And you're not trying to control the situation, but you're just setting a standard. You're just setting up what you expect and what is okay with you. And then you let him be the masculine energy and make the decision, because that's what masculine energy does. It's a decision maker. So you let him decide what he wants to do. So if he cares about you, he will take into account what you said, and then he will, try and communicate with you more or whatever else your request was. Now, if he doesn't, or if he doesn't care about you, or if he feels like your request is unreasonable, then he won't. And then at that point, you don't need to keep telling him and have a conversation. He's already let you know what he feels about you and where his priorities are. So you need to make a decision to just, is that okay for me if he never calls me, if he does this again? Because he's already said that he doesn't think it's a big deal. So he probably will do it again. So is that okay for me, or is it a deal breaker? And then you make the decision based on what's good for you. So being a feminine woman is all about what is good for me first. Being a feminine woman is about putting yourself first. What is important to me? How is this making me feel? How am I putting my heart first? When you are feminine, you are putting yourself first. You are laid back, you are relaxed, and you are allowing men to step up, show themselves, and prove their worth to you. You are not trying to prove your worth to them. That's not feminine. You are sitting back and you are letting men contact you, take you out on dates, expressing how you feel about certain situations within reason, because you don't want to have unrealistic expectations at certain stages. But if it's appropriate at your stage of relationship with that man to have a certain type of, um, rapport going on with each other, then it's okay to express it, right? So, um, So that's something that you have to take into account. So that's what being feminine is. You're open, you're vulnerable with who you are, your feelings, you're soft on the inside, but you're strong. You're a strong person on the inside. I'm sorry, you're soft on the outside, but you're strong on the inside. And strong on the inside means you have a firm foundation of boundaries and standards. And when those boundaries and standards are crossed, you speak on them. But you speak on them from your feeling place and by you taking accountability for yourself and not blaming him or playing the victim or, trying to make him feel bad. You are stating your feelings and you're putting the solution in his hands, because masculine energy solves problems, right? So that is what being feminine is. Then being feminine is about sitting back and allowing your man to lead. And if you're in marriage or, the foundational relationship, he is leading. He is making this, he is the head of the relationship. He's leading, he's moving you guys forward. He's taking you places. You're the heart of the relationship. Like I said, you're speaking about how you feel and you're being vulnerable and you're letting the connection flow between you guys. That is how the dynamic of a masculine and feminine energy relationship works when it's working the way it's supposed to do between a masculine man and a feminine woman. So you are laid back. You are allowing him to lead you down the road that is best for you guys, right? I hope, everyone, please, and if any time you don't, you have some questions about something that I spoke about in this video, please head to the Facebook group and ask each other there. Or now I don't know if I'll be able to answer every single question, but I will answer them as I see, or like maybe sometimes I'll do a live video um, if if I get a lot of the same questions. So I do plan on doing that. Okay, so now here's the thing. So hopefully you guys are understanding me, and like please hit me up in the Facebook group if you don't. Um, Also, if you haven't already bought my book, 21 Days of Feminine Magnetism, which you can find in the resource section of this membership, I advise you or also read the blog, because there's a lot of great free information on there. Okay, so let's get in. So hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying from that point of view. Um, okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing that is really people need to really understand. Now, um, I am I want you all to understand that. So that is a dynamic. So hopefully you guys are getting information about what being feminine is. And I really want the misconception that femininity is synonymous with being weak or a doormat or standoffish or, just not speaking your truth to really go away, because that's not femininity at all. Femininity is about being strong on the inside with standards and boundaries that you do not allow to be crossed. So that means you're not a doormat. And it's about being soft on the outside. So that means that you're speaking from your truth and you're saying it like it is. But you're saying it from your authentic nature. You're saying it in a calm way, in a way that a man can hear and that builds connection. Because femininity is about building connection. And you are the connection of the relationship part. You're the connection in the heart of the relationship, like I said. And men are the decision makers. They're leading, they're guiding, they're protecting, they're providing. They're doing that part of it. And you are the one who is building the bridge in the relationship. You are bringing you guys together. And that is what femininity is about. It's about bringing the masculine and the feminine energy together. It's about, the yin and yang balance. But it's your job as a feminine energy to really hold that connection in by, being in a disciplined way with your own energy and your own vulnerability. And it's basically about not trying to control anything in the relationship. Even if you're married, you are relaxed. You're speaking from your truth. If something isn't working for you, you speak up about it. You let him know how you feel. But you aren't trying to control. You're not. You better do this. You better do that. You need to do that. You don't need to have those type of conversations with him. He will step up if you are who he wants to be with. All you need to do is just be your authentic feminine self and allow him to do that. And when I say about feminine self, it's like I said, authentic feminine self, it means tune into your feminine energy. Be true to yourself and what is okay with you, and speak from that place. And then stay open and vulnerable and allow him to prove himself to you by you leaning back and you being okay with a man giving to you, because that is how men fall in love, by giving to the women that they adore. So by being a feminine woman, you are lean back. You imagine a rowboat, right, on the river, and you are relaxing in the rowboat, enjoying the scenery, enjoying the riverbank, and he is the one that's paddling. And that is what masculine and feminine energy is about. He's the masculine energy doing. He's moving you guys along. He's leading, guiding. And you're the feminine energy. You're sitting back there relaxing and enjoying the process and enjoying getting to wherever you're going. And you're saying, oh, this is so beautiful. Look at the scenery. And you are helping each other to recognize the beauty around you. That is your job as a feminine energy, is to help the masculine energy recognize the beauty in a relationship and in a partnership with you, and in just in life in general. You are in the rowboat and you're just like, hey babe, look at how beautiful those flowers are. And he's just like, and he's able to take in that beauty because you first connected to that beauty and you saw it in yourself, right? Or you were able to connect to your feelings and express that in the beauty that you saw on the outside. So you said, oh, look at the sky. It's so beautiful. Look at the water, it's so clear. Look at those beautiful fishes you're just feeling it on the river. Look at those beautiful fish just swimming in the river. Look at the current, it's so calm. You know what I'm saying? Look at those trees, they just sound so good, and the birds are chirping. It just sounds so beautiful. This is such a romantic day. This is such romantic life. Everything about this is so great. And you're just expressing and expressing and expressing and owning that beauty of the situations that are around you, right? And then your man is like, yeah, I see, it is beautiful. And then that is when the connection is built. That is what masculine energy is about. And that is what feminine energy is about. That is how you as the feminine woman stays in your feminine energy. You're not worried about where are we going. Are we getting there? How long until we get there? Maybe you should row a little harder. Maybe you should use your left hand. Maybe you should use your right hand. No, I don't like the way you rowing. Maybe you should row again. Wait, actually, I think it's back there. You going the wrong way. I don't like this boat. Let's get another. Like that. You see how the energy is different between the latter and the former. Where the former you was just enjoying the beauty of life, and in the latter you just controlling and dictating and doing all that other stuff. When you are doing that type of stuff, you're out of feminine energy. But when you are in the rowboat and you're relaxed and you're enjoying life and you're enjoying the scenery, you're playful and youthful and creative and fun and laughing and enjoying life and building connections with men by your own feelings, that is when you're in feminine energy. So hopefully you guys understand what is femininity and what it means. And that, so hopefully you guys understand, from what I've spoken, what is femininity. Learn. And hopefully you by what I'm saying, you can figure out ways to implement this feminine energy into your own life. And like I said, not just with men, but also with, you know, your just day-to-day life. So that is the end of this video. If you have any more, if you have any questions about this video, please ask each other in the Facebook group. I will try to chime in when I can. Make sure that you follow, make sure you answer the questions in the workbook to accompany this video. Make sure you print it out or write on it in your computer, download it. Make sure you print out the principle that goes with this. But hopefully you have a really clear understanding of what it looks like to be feminine. Alrighty, until next time, stay feminine.